I've been meaning to get a haircut, but I just look like sweaty.
You look great.
My hair is very greasy
You look
today.
very sexy.
Thanks, man.
He's really into you, by the way.
Yeah.
I live right above him, and I hear him moaning your name at night.
Calm down. Okay, Tommy. Just mind your own business.
Yes.
He's loud.
Stop listening. Put on some headphones.
Mind your own business.
Give a guy some
mind
privacy.
canceling. I have sound canceling headphones, and I still hear you.
What was that? Oh, you dropped your pen.
I dropped my pen.
You dropped your pen.
Explosion.
Oh no. Hello.
Stop.
That's become a vocal stim. I want you guys to go see Gumi. Hello. And Tommy can attest. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
So often. Hello, guys, girls, and pals. Welcome to the table talk.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello.
Hello. My ultimate vocal stim. How are we feeling, guys?
A little bit. I wouldn't say overwhelmed is the word. Just a lot of information, a lot of events that's happened in that episode.
There's been so much that's been happening recently. The two previous episodes has been a lot of people imposing their will on you guys in a way that you can't really fight. Yes, hello.
Shaken, not stirred. How I'm feeling.
I like it. There we go. We'll get that on a t-shirt for you. Yes, and then this one was very much throwing you guys into situations where you had to kind of control things a little bit. Like you managed to divert a situation a little bit.
I didn't like beating up that old man. I think I jumped in because I knew Barbara would not be able to do that.
Yes.
You should have let Draxos too.
I mean, it would have been real funny to...
Yeah.
Old man
I'm
gone.
glad Barbara did it, because that was...
It also just made it really funny.
Yeah,
Just-
and I'd like to think in that moment that Barbara, using her, big brain, would think, oh, well, I'm the very strong, so maybe I should do this so we don't inflict any damage. Yeah. There we go.
Also, Grimes is aging so rapidly. He's having thoughts he's never had before. This is the most he's been active.
Yes, so much has happened to Grimes, and actually we didn't talk about this last table talk, but Grimes almost left. Grimes
Yes.
almost left with his dad.
Yes.
And that was what the role was for, wasn't it? You did a role to see if you were going to stay or go. Which, honestly, story-wise and character-wise, totally would I would have been like, that makes sense. If you'd have been like, no, we're packing up, we're going.
The
we're
thing
getting out of
is,
here.
I do have plans for Grimes. I do have backup characters, but I do have plans for Grimes. And it was one of those moments that I was like, okay,
Yes,
at this
Slumlord
point...
now. Oh, sorry, Crime Lord now.
Crime Lord. Yes, get it right.
Boombox
Boombox. No, that was very good.
Thank you. I looked down at the shatter, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm like,
And this is where I'm terrified because you've now learned this of like the minimum I can roll is a 19.
Yeah.
Where me as a dungeon master, I'm like, I'm fucked.
Does that
Like,
apply even if you get a 1?
Yes.
Fuck.
The minimum
Any-
they can roll is a 10.
So yeah, any roll for deception and perception.
Persuasion.
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 Deception and persuasion, all my checks under 10 are automatically 10, and then I add on my proficiency and stuff, which is a 7 and a 9.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
The minimum they can roll is a 19 for persuasion and a 17 for deception.
And I decided not to take a feat just so that my persuasion is 19.
That's insane.
Bards
Yeah.
are busted. I mean, all of you guys are at this point. You're reaching that level.
And
where you
that's
guys
level
are.
4, baby.
Yeah, level 4.
Can you imagine?
I mean, I'm just glad I did good on that intimidation check. Because if I hadn't, like, when I made the wall freaking move on its own,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure how I
you
would've done it,
guys-
but yeah, no.
And again, you guys, I love that you guys keep doing things and avoiding, like, you could have been in trouble for you not doing things the way you were instructed to do them, and then you scared him and he went, oh, wait.
I feel like every single time I made a decision, everyone around me just went.
And that's D&D, baby. I mean,
A little.
I mean, whole person.
I mean, that freaked me out. But also, I didn't even decide that I wanted to gaslight Tozang.
Okay.
I didn't even I was just like, the moment he did that to himself, I was like, yeah, no.
Oh, the knife thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the second you did that, I was like, I made a roll for Tozak, and it was, he hates you guys enough that he is looking for an excuse. and him being able to be like, they hurt me.
Here's the thing, because I didn't say it when we went to rough up the old guy. When
What a
the
sentence.
Rough up the old guy.
when the Dragonborn was gonna go punch him, I wanted to. Everything happened too fast, but I wanted to jump in front of him so that we could use it as an excuse to kick his ass. And I didn't say anything. And then you were gonna do that with fucking Tozak, and I was like, nope, that's my moment. That's my thing. That's my.
Yeah, and again, group check to gaslight him into being like, and that's the thing, he knows what happened, but it's one of those, okay, this is a good argument, but it's now disappeared, and he rolled to be like, can I just do it to myself, and then lie?
I thought he killed himself.
No, it was one of those.
I was like,
oh, you thought he just went.
I was like, okay, bye. Like,
No, it was just one of those like, oh, okay.
I thought the same thing.
I was like, what?
I've got enough to show Mama that they tried something and I had to fight back. Because you know how much he hates you.
The decision of your unseen servants or something, with like wiping the blood, I was like, huh?
I love that.
The thing is, every time Tozak hates you, but in such a way I didn't expect. I expected him to be like, oh, I want to kill these guys, fuck this. He just gets so frustrated by you. He also wants you dead, but fully he was like, cool, I now get to kill them. They're gaslighting me, and now what the fuck, an invisible thing. I hate these people so much, they frustrate me. Because his intimidation thing of like, I'm big, I'm scary, I can kill you, doesn't work.
He doesn't hate us. We just annoy him that much.
Yeah.
I love.
And then you stole the suitcase, as far as you're aware, without him knowing who did it.
Which is wild, by the way.
Wild. And again, this is the crazy point you get at, which is, I've discussed, the characters with them, I've discussed stories, and I've discussed like ways to move story forward without leading them in a certain direction. But there was a point where like, hey, the story is like this, yes, you want to play your characters as the real, There's a certain point where, hey, I can persuade people absolutely anything. There's a point where you get to start taking bigger swings and knowing that one way or the other things will probably be okay or it will be a great story. Which is what happened. You went, fuck it, whole person. You walked up to a big evil crime dude, stole a suitcase literally from under his nose, and he didn't see you because he was frozen and you walked behind him. Like, it's the crazy shit you guys can pull now is insane. I don't like that look on your face. I don't. Bard be dead.
Never.
Yeah, I was just rolling because you know how Barbara is with shiny things.
Yeah.
She sees us. She's like a magpie. Yeah. She sees that magic and she's like, I'm gonna know what it is.
I mean, it makes sense that, especially now that you're connecting to the world with your magic, and you've kind of gotten past like the internal like struggle. I mean, it's still there, but it's all becoming background programs at this point. You're just like, this is a weird thing. And especially from like throwing your book at the light and all that, you're getting more magpie-like and being like, that's the thing I want to investigate, which is a very adventurer thing to do. Like, hey, here's the thing I don't understand. I poke it. What does it do?
To be honest, I'm surprised that I didn't start a fight. Well, a fight didn't start, really, because I started some shit. But I'm surprised that fights didn't, like, really
I
start.
am so surprised that didn't happen. You have no friggin' idea how surprised I am that fight did not happen.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the fight didn't happen between you and the Iron Hand guys at the pub and you spilled
That's-
over his beer.
That's what I
like,
was saying.
Oh, is that what you were mentioning? Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, that one as well, and Tozak, like, again, like, crazy shit is happening.
Yeah.
Because obviously you failed to intimidate them, and he was just like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm the Iron Hand, bitch. And then you rolled really high on your persuasion or something?
Yeah.
To be like,
I got
I'm
a nat
also Iron
20, I
Hand.
think.
Yes.
Yeah. And he just went, oh, that's why this guy's so cocky. He is a badass. I guess I'll tell him what to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't meet Lady Camilla again.
You will.
There's time. And then obviously, fucking reading minds.
That's a handy little trick.
It's a handy friggin' spell.
That's why I need my spell slots
It's
back.
it's pure like lie detector. It's beautiful though. I love it. You guys are doing fantastic.
What'd you think of my little Baragon thing?
So intriguing. So intriguing, and it's nice because obviously stories can develop, all that kind of stuff. It's nice you kind of throwing those little curveballs at me where I'm just like, hold on, like roll an intimidation check. If he gets it, like stuff like that is really fun.
Yeah, because I had that idea in my head, I think, a few episodes ago, because you mentioned I don't know who I asked, but you mentioned like, oh yeah, he's leaving soon or whatever, like 2 weeks or something. I'm like,
Yeah, how do I keep him here?
I want to get his attention in a way that is like not giving away too much, but to make him interested.
Totally makes sense. But and also it kind of feeds into one of the ways I like to run games is I don't. Obviously, there's always that you tend to hit a point where there's like one storyline you guys are following, but I like dripping in other things so that if you guys drop the storyline and did something else, or once you finish that storyline, I like arcs feeding into each other. So you kind of feeding into that and being like, hey, I'm gonna message my nemesis, is a great way to either connect it so you guys, if you wanted to, could be like, well, fuck the Iron Hand. Or after this, it kind of feeds into the next thing. So it's allowing multiple things to happen at once, which makes the world feel, I think, more real. In my opinion, the second you just do one thing and that's the game, it becomes very much like, okay, like side scroller.
Yeah. No, I was trying to figure out how to do it.
And fun.
So that's why
and you roll well enough to be like, I know where he is. I know where to send the letter. Yeah.
Nice.
Brava.
You said about the letter, and you said about like intimidating him, and I just imagined the letter rolling a d20 to see if it's an intimidation check.
Full on the Baldur's Gate 3 style. He just opens it, and you just hear the little.
Like it turns into the screaming letter from Harry Potter.
Yes, exactly.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah. The howler.
I'll let you know.
Howler.
When I walked into the,
Use Mimsy for that.
I still have the mimic.
Yeah, you still got
You
Mimsy.
haven't got rid of that goddamn mimic.
Yeah, he's just hanging around.
I love him. When I walked into that place and became Boombox, none of that was intentional, by the way.
I saw the panic and I was like, no, we're going with this. And I also, did you see me as a DM being like, I don't know what's happening right now. Luckily I get to play the gang member being the fuck?
Did you see us? We were just like,
But then the cogs were turning in my head and I was like, oh, I see. Uprising. Get the small people.
Part of me was like, oh, this is Grimes going off the rails a little bit in a fun way. But also in my head I was like, I feel like this is Tommy testing out what I can get away with a 19 minimum persuasion.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna play any other class after Grimes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What is it, an eloquence bard or something?
Yeah.
Bard.
College
of Eloquence. You can't get lower than...
And then you'll have like a
2
billion
skills.
comments of people saying like, that's not how eloquence works.
is it not?
No, it definitely is.
It is.
Come for me. Fight me. It's how it works.
You fight him, not me.
You don't fight Tommy.
I'm so persuasive. I just persuade.
Honestly, no, if it is wrong, please tell me because Tommy's going to break the game.
Jesus Christ. No, but like...
I picture in like 2 episodes' time, Tommy walking into the boardroom of IGC Tower being like, I own this place now.
I mean, I thought about it.
Being like, oh, yes, she's right.
I genuinely thought about it. I was like, I walked in. So my plan was, I was going to walk in, I was going to ask, try to get information about what we're expected to do working for Mama and how much death. Right. And then the conversation, I was just kind of like, Grimes would ask these things. And then I was like, hold on a sec. Because the plan was I get the information and then I maybe kill them all. Because they're bad people.
With the Iron Hand guys.
Yeah. But there was like only 8 of them and also they weren't that bad. They were just people who like chased money. They weren't
people
like
versus you. Great
and
idea.
a shatter. I was gonna like walk out and dump a shatter in there and like...
I mean, you're at the point now where...
I guess so.
Average people, like, bear in mind, like, whatever the first episode where you fought those gang members in the Arcanist pages, they had like 12 hit points.
What's the... You know, if you play a certain character in a certain way, like, let's say you have a neutral good or whatever.
Yeah.
Or lawful good or...
Yeah.
Basically, good person doing bad things. What's the level as to, like, how much you do to make you change?
Alignment used to be a big thing in earlier editions, like, you know, 3rd edition and so on and so forth. I don't really bother with alignment too much anymore because it doesn't really factor in other than Paladins. And Paladins, it's more like, oh, hey, and it's more like, oh, what's your code? And then if you break that code, then something affects it. Generally, it's kind of, I just do it the way you guys behave because people are, you know, multifaceted. They kind of act multiple ways depending on situations. Because especially back in like 3rd edition, 2nd edition, there was spells like detect alignment, protection from alignment, like all kinds of crazy things. And they phased that out nowadays, which I'm okay with. So there's not. I don't really have it run in any.
Yes, and you shouldn't box yourself into little silly little words that don't.
Exactly.
I guess detect alignment could be useful if you're talking
It
to
could,
somebody.
well, especially if you're like, I want to detect evil.
Yeah,
Yes.
then there's defense against alignments also makes sense because.
Yeah, there's spells like literally protection from alignment, which. Could
But I
work
guess
in
an
that way.
insight check to a degree would be able to help you decipher
Exactly,
someone's
yes.
intentions.
Yes,
So,
literally, you can kind of like you said, detect their intentions.
Yeah.
Or like
Also
what
that-
kind of person they are.
That
But
Dragonborn was pissing me off.
Yeah.
Me too.
We did the job. I was like, no, you didn't.
Yeah, he was like, I want you to beat them up and steal their medicine and shit. And you're just like, no, we pocketed money. Fuck you guys. Being like, we're gonna not hurt this person. And
I really enjoyed kind of freaking them out, I'm not gonna lie. I
Same.
feel, and it's bad, because I can feel that Barbara is gonna kind of enjoy that moment
Yeah.
a lot. So we'll see where that takes
And
us.
here's a fun thing you guys get to start playing. Part of the whole, we can get away with a lot more because you guys are getting more powerful is, hey, we're becoming fucking powerful.
Yeah.
To a point where, and this is something you could, if you wish, get to explore, we're now becoming a point where we are we're different from regular people.
Yeah.
Like, as far as you guys are aware,
I'm boombox now.
yeah, you're boombox. That Dragonborn was just a dude. So
Yeah.
you don't know what he had, but he certainly was freaked out by you making an invisible person pick up a piece of metal and bring it up some stairs. So,
When he wanted more money, I was about to beat his ass.
yeah. And that always tends to happen with player characters is as they get more powerful and they start becoming into more money and get magical items and start doing these crazy things, their humanity, not necessarily their alignment, but you get that weird shift, like celebrity culture. Like eventually a lot of celebrities eventually kind of become disconnected from the everyday people. And there might be a point where your characters start feeling that. Not all of you, but you might.
Yeah, my dad
well,
coded my
yeah,
empathy
I
too
mean,
hard.
I've already started feeling it.
Yeah, you already feel like a different person.
Well, yeah, especially with the whole like not feeling
Yeah,
stuff whenever
and yeah,
I don't want to.
Exactly. Like you've turned emotions into like background, programs now. Where
Yeah.
you can kind of be like, well, they're there, but I'm actually not focused on it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And so now it can
is
start to
scary.
affect you in every day. In the fact that you enjoyed kind of fucking a scary dude over and freaking.
But that's
him
the
out.
thing. I think that's the biggest thing. I feel like Barbara won't feel bad about it because he is a bad person. And yes, fair enough, he is a bad person only because of the situation he's in and he's being paid to do it.
Yeah,
But he has done bad shit
he is.
because
Yeah.
he works for the Iron Hand.
Well,
you know?
and this
Just
is.
as we are now also bad people because we are.
And
We're
that's
not
something
bad people.
Well, here's the thing, and this
I'm
is
not
something
even
you
people.
get to explore. There's the point of like, okay, are we bad people because we're letting things happen? Like, I don't want to. We might get into it in the next game or the next couple episodes or something. But for example, because of your actions, people have died. People
Yeah.
have lost homes. So sure, you weren't the one holding the match, but you were, complicit. And at certain points where, and hopefully this will start spurring on your characters of like, hey, my inaction or my fear of reprisal for me is making more things happen. And that's why someone like Mama is in power.
Well, the thing is,
Because
like,
people are too scared to fight back.
connected to that and the whole, like, Draxos' home being burnt down with the building and everybody inside. Because of that, obviously you notice me getting, like, really upset and, like, making more of these rash decisions.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to ask about the whole alignment thing, because obviously I didn't care.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to like start fights and just like hit people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I knew we had to like do something, and if we acted a certain way, then there'd be repercussions for that. So it's like a whole.
Yeah, but you guys are under. It's fun because you're under the focus now of Mama, and essentially, no matter what you do, there are repercussions, and it's kind of something for your characters to maybe start looking at is like, what happens if we try and take the safest route? Is it worse, or do we have to put ourselves in danger to like maybe help more people in the long run? Or and this is something where obviously you don't have alignment to play on that, but you as a performer, as someone playing a character, gets to explore that of like, I'm being pushed to the edge now as a character whose whole thing was like defending people and being there to protect people. Suddenly I'm allowing this stuff to happen.
I want to say, when I came back to tell you that your place was burned down and everything, I want you to know, before I played Grimes, when I created Grimes, the idea was he would be very good at relaying information because he's a robot. And
Please,
then
it's you.
and then the first time I had to like relay something, I think it was like to my dad or something, I just word vomited, and I was like, I have to commit to that.
The
now.
code's busted
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, no fair.
So when I came back and I was just like, yeah, your house. Yeah, so never mind. There's a lot of stuff that happened since your house. I'm boombox now. That was like, fuck. I can't tell him proper details.
Yeah, and I think the point, and I think also this episode was quite helpful for you guys to kind of know the whole, inaction means bad stuff happens, because from you doing something kind of wild and crazy, you've taken something potentially very, very important. Like, you don't know what necessarily it means, but you could have, in theory, stopped something quite bad. Otherwise, if you'd have not wanted to get involved because, like, oh, we'll get hurt for this, who knows what could have happened. So I believe you guys might be starting to step into that hole, especially now you're level 4, and starting to get into this spotlight kind of position. Hopefully you guys are starting to be like, oh, we actually have to step forward and start making things happen. Otherwise, nothing changes, and nothing changes is bad.
Yeah, because like it's a bit difficult, obviously, you know, taking action on things, even if you know for a fact it's not the best choice, because you are like, we're all playing this with our characters in mind and like what they'd want to do, and obviously we don't want to die, but you know, causing things to happen, good or bad, usually the bad way is more fun.
Yes,
And
yes.
like, yeah,
Well, that's the thing to play with now, is obviously like, hey, us going and doing something will cause, like, especially now you're dealing with Mama, will cause bad things to happen. Are they worse than what would happen if we did nothing?
Yeah, so it's that kind of like, I guess, balance, or not really balance, but like being like, okay, instead of actually just not doing anything, do something, deal with it later.
Yeah, we're powerful enough that maybe we can do it.
Where in Draxos' case, punch first, ask questions after.
Honestly, beautiful. Put a knife to his throat, let's see what happens. But on that note, we do have to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us. If you joined us, we love you. We'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.